Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing XOV to LA. I mean, the full title is XOV to Los Angeles, but I just shortened it a bit, of course. Now, I'm not entirely sure that there's any kind of plane/airport reference. It's just when you see XOV, I mean, I'm fairly sure I understand why the Bard, the constructor of today's puzzle, named it as such, but there's also like the letter KM in there, kind of triggers me thinking KLM. So I just couldn't help myself but think of Sleuth there flying a plane heading into Los Angeles. On, of course, the XOV airline. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set. And I was actually going to solve a different puzzle from Marty Sears. Normally, his puzzles are actually quite tricky for me, which is fantastic for a weekend, but it looks like it's already been featured also with 8,000 souls. So congratulations, Marty Sears. XOV to Los Angeles by the Bard. The following set of rules. Extended Sudoku rules. Place the digits 0 to 9 in each row, column, or box. So row, column, or box. Can't repeat digits. However, there will be one digit that does not fit. And this digit can vary between rows, columns, and boxes, and needs to be determined by the solver. Now, there's a lot of words there, but essentially, there are 9 cells in this column. You cannot fit 10 digits, the digits 0 to 9. You're going to have to determine which of the digits 0 to 9 fit in here. Clearly, one of them is going to be missing. Does it have to be consistent in every column, or every row, or every box? Interesting. XV. Digits separated by an X must sum up to 10, and digits separated by V must sum up to 5, and all X's and V's have been given. I'm having a look around to see if I can stand a chance of finding one. Let's have a look at this cell. If this cell is 2, for example, well, to get to 10, these two cells would have to be, to get these two cells adding up to 10, this would have to be an 8. With a V, they have to add up to 5, so if this is 2, this would have to be 3. Fairly straightforward. All X's and V's have been given. An 8 with a 2 in here wouldn't work because there is no X between them. A 3 in here wouldn't work because there is no V between them, so keep that in mind. Consecutive pairs, digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive, so if this cell here is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 for it to be consecutive. No word on this being, there is no negative constraint explicitly stated here, so I'm going to assume it doesn't apply. So whilst the 2 and 3 doesn't work because of XV, 1 and 2 would be absolutely fine, even though they are consecutive. Then last but not least, we've got anti-knight. So cells that are a knight's move apart in chess may not contain the same digit. So if this cell is a 2, for example, that cell cannot be a 2 because that is a chess knight's move away, as is this cell. And essentially, none of these cells could be 2. That's all the rules we have for today. Plenty of them, actually. And I always kind of struggle with the 0 to 9 Sudoku, so this should be interesting. As always, for you to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I tell you, the first idea that occurs to me is to look at V's. Because normally what I do is color things blue and purple and say, well, to get to 5, one of them is going to be 1, 4, one of them is going to be 2, 3, and the two cannot be the same. However, you can see magically, we've got a third color in here. Because with this rule set, we can have 5, 0. So essentially, we're going to have to use 3 colors for the V's today. I am going to stick with purple, blue, and green. Kind of my idea of low digits. Purple and green are looking at this V, so this has to be blue. And then blue and purple means this has to be green. Now remember, one thing I cannot do this time is use Sudoku. The fact that there are 2 greens in here and a green in there doesn't mean that there are, there's a green in there, for example. I can absolutely miss digits. And that's going to be a constant challenge, I think, with today's puzzle. One thing I do know is that these are the digits 0 to 5. You know, whether this is 5, 0, 1, 4, and 2, 3, I've got them covered with two different blues. I'm almost certainly going to be using letters from the get-go. One thing I'm also going to do is highlight all of the digits that have to be high, because to add up to 10, I can't have double 5. So even if this could be 5 and 0, I can't have double 5 adding up to 10. That's not going to be allowed. So this is definitely green here. Yeah, green here cannot be 0, 5, because one of these is going to be 5, and therefore to add up to 10 is going to break Sudoku. This is very helpful. This is very helpful, because then I know that green is 1, 4, or 2, 3, and then maybe I'll be able to figure out what are the other V's, so to speak. Interesting. Okay, let's see if we can keep this going. So this cell is the same as this cell, so that is definitely green. And therefore these two cells can't be green because I've already got one of them in here. I can't have two. This cannot be purple, so this has to be blue. This has to be blue to add up. It's essentially this cell. And these two cells have to be purple. These are all reds. Again, there you go. Purple can't be 0, 5 for the exact same logic that we went through with the V's in the green. If any of these are 5s, how am I going to get to 10 without breaking Sudoku? So we know for certainty now that all of these are 0 and 5. This cell and this cell are the same. So it can't be purple, it can't be green, it has to be blue. That's the only thing that's left. So another set of blue. Don't know what's going on in here. There. I think I'm going to get onto letters in a second. Now, I know that most of you are familiar with what I do here, but I am going to, because we've had a lot of new subscribers recently, so I'm just going to, I'm going to put this up on the screen, and it's like it's nowhere to be seen. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, close enough. So essentially, my way of using these letters in here is I kind of like think, literally think of these as replacements for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, overlaid with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, N, O. O is going to be a bit odd. And essentially, I kind of use 5 in the middle as a way of just as in the E, and then these going diagonally across or column or rows to basically remember what pairs up with what. Now, I know that this is essentially the equivalent of O and E, so therefore my blue and green, my purple and green are AD and BC, and I'm going to clearly have to pick kind of a favorite right now. With AD, this is the same, these are Fs, this is I, this is A. I'm going to pick, I don't really want to pick here because it's not proving very useful just yet. Let's pick B and C. Don't know what these are. I know that this is F or I. And remember, we don't have to have an A in here. So what is this? These two cells. Right, for it to be, can't be blue. We know that. I'm also going to say it can't be purple and because essentially it can't be B and H, and it can't be C. If I put C in here, I've broken the V negative constraint. If I put C in here, I've broken the other anti-knight move. So this cannot be blue, cannot be purple. It has to be green. This cannot be green. This is green. And this is red. And this is A or D, therefore this is F or I. This is A or D, back to F or I, A or D. That's not D, that's A, I. Lovely. and therefore D, A, I again. Again, doesn't mean that there is I in these two cells. So that's one of the reasons why I struggle is, though my basic Sudoku, to be fair, is not brilliant, this doesn't help in terms of the solve. I mean, let's go with this. So this is BC, and therefore their partners are GH. So really the missing something in here is actually D. But again, it doesn't have to be consistent. So the fact that it's missing in here doesn't necessarily mean that it's definitely available in there, for example. These two cells, so they're not 0, they're not 5, they're not A. It could be essentially C, G, or H. So this is definitely purple red, and therefore this is definitely purple red. Now if this is C, if this is G or H, this is B or C. It can't be C, therefore this is not G. And if it's B, it's H. If it's C, this is G. And this is the same, this is C or H. And that C was there from the beginning. I really took the long way around for this one, but we got there. And then we don't know if this is C or G. We know that this is red. No, red, and this is purple. This is red. This cell here, we know it's not blue, because otherwise I'll have a double kind of, either I'll repeat this digit or I need to have a V constraint broken. So this is the remaining high digit, which is, by the looks of things, G, and therefore this has to be C. And that gives me B, C, H, G in here. These two cells are either B and H, which is absolutely fine, because they're not A and D, the low digit in that 10. It could also be blue, as in this being the blue cell. So this would be the 0 or 5. Can't be 5, can't be 0 because there's no 10. Sleuth, B, H, H, B. Right, looking good. The missing digit in this box is B, because can't be there, can't be there. So these two cells, they're both high digits, and they are not I, it's G, and therefore C's, and therefore G again, and this is I. In the end, we did end up with I, we just had to derive it this way. Right, this is purple. I don't know if the number of colors here, I don't know if actually the colors is actually that useful. It's almost like more of a communication tool at this point rather than anything else. Given just the sheer number of colors and letters and numbers, I don't know what value it's adding. This cell we know is not B, it's the other high digit, whatever that is, GIHF. This is potentially blue. Okay, this cell is not the second blue. So this is A or I, which is fantastic, because essentially these two cells are either essentially the second blue or A and I, and obviously they can't be both. They can't have A and I because they would be connected with an X, which they aren't. So this is 0 or 5, and this is blue. Still don't know what this is, do I? No. So we've used, no, I was going to say we've used all the low digits, so this can't be low, but that's not true. Actually, yes, we have. There you go. So this is not 0, 5, A, B, C, or D. So this is the high digit, as is this cell. This is the low digit that is not blue or A, or C for that matter. It can be B, and it could be D. And if it's B, this would be H, which is obviously repeating in the same box. So that is D, F, F. Lovely. I mean, we may as well get these. Sorry. So there's a second C or G potentially in here. No, there's 4 more things are available. Right, so A, B, no C's in here. So that's the missing digit in box 4. And therefore I have 2 high digits, G and H by the looks of things. And both of these are red. Now I've placed all of the low digits, so these 2 cells have to be, sorry, all of the high digits. So these 2 cells are essentially the colored blue, green, or purple. Well, it's not purple, but it could be blue or green. So this could be D or 05. Hang on, I'm missing something. I've done all 4 high letters. I don't have B in this row, so it is exactly 05D. Now 05 doesn't work, we've established on this, so this has to be D. This is F. And this is not D. Red, green, blue. Now there could be a second blue somewhere in here, or it could be, there's no H in this box, so there's definitely a second blue and a G. So G and 05, sorry. There. Again, can't be 05 on here, so this has to be the G. This is C, this is G again. This is not G, this is blue, reds, and purple. This here could be, it's definitely blue, because I'm missing 2 blues in this row, and I can't be missing both. We're making progress. G gives me C with night move, which is purple. No B in here. Could be B. So what am I missing in here? I am missing B, I, and G. No G. So this is B and I. This is B. And this is I. I. Thank you. There is only 1 blue. So I'm missing 1 blue in here. And then the other one is F. So F was 05. No night move really to help me at this point. These are kind of tricky. Until we get to the white Kropke dots, disambiguating these is because I'm actually using digits, not letters. Otherwise, night move, will be very powerful. I'll be able to get all of these actually. It's not a bad idea. So I am going to pick, one of them is going to be E, one of them is going to be O, and just do this. Huh. That hasn't helped anywhere near as much as I was hoping. I'm actually willing to say, I don't think it actually helped at all. It's just like a distraction. Right, this is green because it's not blue and it's not purple. This cell at least is. So this has to be green. This is not D. That's A, that's D, that's I. Here's our first white Kropke dot that's going to help us later. Clearly not right now for some reason. C and B are not here. Right, these 2 cells, one of them is low. And it doesn't include C. And this one is not blue, but it can be B with H. That actually works. The other possibility, of course, is this is the low digit, which we said is not C, A, or D, but it can actually be, and it can be B and H again. And 0 and 5 doesn't work, so it is B and H. And this has to be 0 or 5. Which is not E, it's O, which gives me E down here. O doesn't, oh, hang on, no. Don't know. Down here we need 2 cells that add up to 10. It could be B and H again. Or it could be A and I. It can't be. Right. Here's a fairly quick one. Obviously, blue doesn't work because it's 0 and 5. C isn't working. B and H could work. And I won't be able to disambiguate them right now. But A and I, specifically in this order, because of this A, doesn't work because it breaks this cell. And obviously D doesn't work because it sees both of these. So this is B and H again. This is AI, and it's, oh, right, so low digits first, done. Can't be AI, otherwise these two cells have to add up to 10. So it is something else. It is the missing D. That's what it's missing. There you go. Notice how, oh, I was going to say the D is everywhere, but it's not in column 2. I'm actually, because like the bard didn't explicitly say that it's a different one that's missing in every row and column, like you couldn't use that as part of the solve. But I am curious if it ends up being like that, but I'll check that at the end rather than add it to my time now. Right, I'm kind of struggling here. Let's just wrap up with all of the pencil marks. So we've got 2 possible remaining things. Blue is not it, green is not it. So this, and C is not it. So C is missing. So it's one very specific thing that's left, F. And therefore these 2 cells, what are they? They're not blue, they're not purple. This is not green, it's not A or D. So this is definitely red, and therefore it is definitely I. Now this cell could be A. What else am I missing? I've used all the low digits other than A. I've used all the high digits. So it is exactly A, and therefore this has to be B, this has to be H. You're not going to be consecutive to a high digit. Purple, red, red, purple, not helpful. B, hang on. BH. Right, I think this is going to tell us everything. This last white crop dot. It is not consecutive to a high digit. It is consecutive to a blue digit, the 5, which is proving to be an E. And therefore this will be, I'm going to use letters and then just replace them. This can't be blue anymore, so this is F. And this is blue, so it has to be not E's, O's, E, O, E, O, A or I. Known, oh, of course, negative constraint D. So that's I, and that was known. And then these 2 cells, come on. Let's finish this. We've got all the blues. This can't be purple either. So it has to be red. It's not I, H, it's F or G. It's not G, it's F. This is G or C. It's not C, it's G. Right, back to, this has to be 6 because this is blue and a low digit, in this case 5. So let's just crack on with 5, 0, 6, 4, 1, 9. For a second there I was thinking like, oh, hang on, how do I figure out the rest? Of course, the 4 is consecutive to, well, it's not 5, it's 3. There you go. 7, 2, if I've not made any mistakes, 8 for the finish. Beautiful puzzle, the Bard. Definitely worth more than the 41 solves it's received so far. Now, since I have completed, I am going to check. What am I missing in every column? 2, 1, 8. No, I mean, obviously they're going to have repeats because it's only 9 columns. Yeah, no, just ignore what I was thinking there. I haven't thought about it. Right, hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.